The Patriots and the Rams will be meeting in Atlanta.
Let's go! He throws it down the left side, and he makes the catch in the end zone. He picks his way for a touchdown! Touchdown, Patriots!
I'm taking all #1 spot.
Gurley was 6. One more, boys. Edelman diving to the goal line. The bet in the game, Aaron Donald.
Razzle dazzle, baby.
Goff with a dime.
That's what this team's about.
Hooks at the goal line. Touchdown, LA!
Way to go, baby.
Welcome to Good Morning Football. Less than 10 days away from Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. It's January 25th, and we are super stoked to be here. We've got Bart Scott and Mike Garafolo. Good Morning Football Weekend. Kyle Bryant is back from his Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's right. 40 years old. I'm a man. Mike Gundy. That's it. I'm a different guy now, okay? Very mature, very serious about football. Middle age. That's right.
Graphic tees under blazers, the new thing?
Yes. Very mature.
What made you wear that today?
Bus is one of my favorite players ever. And I know he's a Michigan guy like Bart, so I wore it for him. It's incredible.
Love that.
We need some Steelers this time of year.
Talking Super Bowl, let's talk lead block.
Lead block.
Lead block.
No Steelers, you're right, Kyle, but we do have Brady and Belichick, and they're headed to their 9th Super Bowl. Lest we forget about Rob Gronkowski getting to his 5th, though, an incredible feat on its own. And for more on he's contributed to the Patriots' run this season, here's Mike Giardi.
Well, good morning, Kay. This isn't the kind of season the Patriots expected from Rob Gronkowski. Hell, it's not the season Gronk expected from himself. But a few weeks after telling us he was all in on this year, he's delivered big time in the postseason. First with a dominating blocking performance against the L.A. Chargers in the divisional round. And then, of course, 6 catches in the AFC title game, including a 25-yarder and a 15-yarder on back-to-back touchdown drives to help the Patriots overcome the Chiefs. Pat Chung is not surprised by what his teammate has been able to do.
You got to see what he's meant to the game. I don't got to tell you that. But to me, I mean, he's made me the player I am. I get to go against him every day for the last, 8, 9 years, So he's definitely made me better, period, So, I actually need to thank him. That's so from personally, that's, how I feel about him, So, and we've been grinding it out. There's days we don't want to grind it out, and we're going to grind it out, So, much love to him. Thank you.
On Thursday, Gronk told us he's enjoying the ride, and he says he loves the diversity of these game plans. He says, I don't want to run it every time. You don't want to throw it every time. I love the balance. It's certainly working for the Patriots, Kay.
Giardi, appreciate you. Few have ever done it like the Gronkster has, especially in the playoffs, guys. 11 touchdowns, tied for second most all-time. Worth noting, he is the only tight end on this list, which is insane. Dominant as ever. Now with the latest on the Rams side of things, let's send it over to Steve Weish. Hey, Steve.
Well, good morning, Kay. Let's start out on the injury front for the Rams. Kicker Greg Zuerlein, he has a strained left foot. That is his plant foot. And running back C.J. Anderson, who has an illness, neither practiced on Thursday, but head coach Sean McVay expects both to be good to go for the Super Bowl. Now, several Rams players talked about how they cannot make mistakes against a Patriots team that they know is relentless. But Rams players said they feel the same way about themselves because they played in a number of close games where they've had to make plays late to emerge victorious, none bigger than the NFC Championship. Here's quarterback Jared Goff addressing that.
It's big. I think anytime you can go into an atmosphere like that, go down 13 early, and then show the poise and perseverance and get through adversity the way we did and be able to come out on top late in the game like we did. Just being able to fight through all that. And there was so much against us early on, so much going on that was not going our way. To be able to get through that and come out with a win, it gives you some confidence and gives you something to look back on as a way that you handled some stuff correctly.
McVay held Goff as the best example of somebody with composure, saying that Jared has the ability to be at his best when his best is required. Okay?
Steve, thank you so much. You and Mike doing an awesome job. Cannot wait till next week when you guys are in the front of those team hotels giving us
That's
the
always
goods.
exciting.
Let's talk Jared Goff, though. He would become the second youngest quarterback ever to win the Super Bowl if he can get it done against Brady and Belichick next Sunday. So we heard Steve say how Sean McVay feels Jared Goff is at his best when the best is required. Like being pushed a little bit. So if both of these teams are pushed to their best, imagine what's the highest rating in Madden?
99.
99,
yeah.
Right? So they're all at their 99. Who would win in that scenario, Kyle?
Okay. See, I've worked with Kay more than you guys have. You got to pay very close attention to the questions, which I am if they both play
Mike
their
Garafolo,
best. Yes, point here. If they both play their best, I think the Rams win by 2 touchdowns. I genuinely mean that. If everybody plays their best, it's the same thing I would say about the Eagles last year. The Eagles didn't win that game because of Rocky or because of Nick Foles' magic. They won the game because they had a better team. Just from top to bottom, they had a better team. If you look at the Patriots and you look at the Rams, what position group are the Patriots definitely better and more talented? I'll give you quarterback, sure. Tight end, maybe O-line, which is kind of a toss-up. Other than that, I think it's the Rams across the board. And you want to think, well, Belichick's been there. Belichick's going to Is he definitely going to outcoach McVay? Because I saw him get outcoached by Tom Coughlin twice and Doug Peterson once. That's not a lock. I think if everybody's at their 99, I think it's the Rams by 2 touchdowns.
Woo.
I don't know. I have to disagree. I think it's going to be the Patriots because I feel like you have to add in the coaching into that as well.
Yeah.
I think you add the scheme, and I think, the Patriots' ability to take away what you do best and make you play left-handed. We know that the Patriots can play left-handed and adjust. We don't know if Sean McVay and Wade Phillips can adjust. So I think if they both played at their best, I'm adding into that the fact that they have the experience, the fact that they can adjust and they can change their game plan in the middle of the game.
Don't you think McVay's going to have something, Bart, for this one?
Of course, but if the Patriots come out and punch you in the mouth, much how they did Kansas City last week, it took them a whole half to be able to adjust. So they had to go into halftime to make the adjustments. The Patriots can make that adjustment, and you hear, Brady talking about that. They can go and they can refer to something that they've seen before. They've seen it all, been there, done it all. Jared Goff hasn't seen that. He's not ready yet.
And they hadn't seen Nick Foles like they've seen Jared Goff. Do you know what I'm saying? There's something to do with the fact, I mentioned this earlier this week, you almost feel like the Eagles sort of crept up on people. Late in the season, the Carson Wentz injury happens. There's a little bit of magic involved. There's unknown, not as much tape. Jared Goff and company, these Rams, McVay included, Coach of the Year. You think Belichick's seeing that and taking that lightly? Not a chance, which makes me lean in the Patriots' favor just a little bit as far as being prepared, learning a lesson from last season, running the ball more, not getting into a shootout with a high-octane offense like the Rams, like the Chiefs, like the Eagles last year, and sort of, I guess, learning from that experience and at their 99, sort of being able to game plan for a guy that has had a target on his back all year in Jared Goff.
Everybody at their 99, like you just talked about, yes, I paid attention. I may have paid too much attention to the question because to me, if everybody's playing their best, that means that there's no 50-yard play, right? Because the defense could give up. So you got little chunk plays along the way. So take me back to the AFC Championship game. As a matter of fact, that opening drive, 15 plays, 80 yards, 7 first downs, 8:05 time of possession, ending in a 1-yard rush touchdown by Sony Michel. And the Patriots were like, hey, we're not going to get 15 yards here because we only want about 6 on 3rd and 5 just to keep the chains moving and to keep the pace being set. And listen, life comes at you fast. Some of us, it comes a little bit faster, Kyle Brandt, yesterday with your birthday. But in the Super Bowl 42.
Kyle, that's why you know I care about you a lot.
In Super Bowl 42, the Patriots had the high-flying offense. The Giants came out with, I believe, a 16-play drive to set the pace. And now here the Patriots are on the other end. They're the ones that be the pace setter. So I think if you get a game like that, it's good.
How it works, since there's only the Super Bowl and not the usual slate of games, we're going to show you the best sound bites of the Patriots and the Rams one at a time. They're going to talk about them. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. First one's from Bill Belichick, the hoodie himself. Yesterday, the Pats head coach went nostalgic, describing his thoughts on Rams defensive coordinator Wade Phillips. Take a look.
But he's been successful everywhere he's been. He's been doing it for 30 years in multiple organizations with multiple groups of players against every kind of offense he could see. So, yeah, I remember dealing with him when I was in Cleveland. It's basically, and to his credit, there's not many of us that have a system that can last that long. And, I've certainly changed a lot in the last 30 years, schematically. Wade really hasn't. He really hasn't.
Is that a smile?
It was a smile, and I loved it. So both Bill and Wade have actually coached in the NFL over 40 years each, the longest tenured active coaches in the NFL. So let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Garofalo, we'll start with you here. We've talked a lot about McVay and McDaniels. What about these guys with the defensive pedigree, Bill Belichick and Wade Phillips?
How about that year a couple of years ago when Wade Phillips was out of the league? Wasn't his daughter on Twitter saying that somebody should be hiring my dad? How's everybody looking right now letting him sit out there for a year? This guy's done a fantastic job of coming back and skiing. Listen, he lets his players play. A lot of defensive coordinators don't do that. They try and win games via their X's and O's instead of the, as Michael Robinson says on the weekends, MFB weekend, Jimmy's and Joe's.
I just look at some of the greatest players that Wade Phillips has ever coached. Reggie White, Von Miller, J.J. Watt, Ricky Jackson, DeMarcus Ware, and then Aaron Donald. When this thing is all said and done, he may be the best one. And I say that with full respect for Reggie White and J.J. And I just think in this game, Wade Phillips can't end this game without saying, I got everything I possibly got out of Aaron Donald. I got him involved one way or another. Bart, you talked about moving him. Could be the best player he's ever had. You got to use him.
And remember, when the Patriots struggled, it's because it was going against a Wade Phillips defense. He understands how to get it done. It's very few times that,